From the Blind Ability Studios, it's Wellness Wednesday with your hosts, Beth Gustin and Robin Ennis.
Welcome back to Wellness Wednesday. My name is Beth Gustin, licensed professional counselor here in Colorado, and I'm here with my co-host, Robin Ennis, LCSW, also in Colorado. We are back for Wellness Wednesday.
I just want to give a quick update is when we were talking about New Year's resolutions and themes for the year. And I had mentioned I don't necessarily do resolutions, but I try to think of one word or phrase to sum up the year to kind of help me create goals and move from day to day with that. And so I chose this year to be creativity. My goal is to try and invoke that in my professional life and in my personal life. And so far, I've been more leaning towards trying to figure out how to be more creative with poetry that I've been tapping more into. So stay tuned and I will keep you updated on how that goes. But I do want to check in with all of you, and I hope that you all are thinking at least about some type of goal. I have a client who wants her year to be one of growth, or I have a friend who said she wants her year to be one of being more present.
And to piggyback off of that, it's a little interesting. I've got a bit of a different perspective. Working with grief and loss, I work with a lot of my clients on, I recognize it's a new year, but it's just one more sleep that happened between 2022 and 2023. And so we still don't miss this person any less. We still grieve them just the same. And at the same time, we want to focus on moving forward and creating continuing bonds and what that connection will look like. But I also encourage my clients, it's always good to have goals, yes. But if your goal is just to get through one more day, that's a goal. And so I take a little bit different approach to resolutions. And for myself, I didn't set any major resolutions. I've got some big picture goals I'm working on for my private practice and kind of some personal things I want to do on public speaking and whatnot. But I have not yet set what I would call quantifiable, measurable goals for myself. I just have big picture goals right now. And I tend to check in with myself once a quarter and kind of see where I'm at with things and kind of look at what next tasks I want to work on to reach those big picture goals. But I'm probably one of the rebels when it comes to resolutions.
Well, I like that you said that, Beth, is it takes the pressure off of, I have to accomplish this, or if I don't do this, then making people feel bad about themselves. So I do like the fact that you said taking it a moment or day by day. That can be, a goal or, something like that. Just be gentle with yourself on whatever you choose to decide, which leads us into today's topic about if you want to make change in your life and what that change will look like. So let's go back to the past podcasts that we talked about. Anxiety, depression, bipolar, those different conditions. And if any of those resonate with you, or if you feel like you want to seek professional help, the goal is that Beth and I will talk about that process when you know that you want to seek professional help and how to go about doing that.
So if you want to see a therapist, where do you find one? That's the big, where do you go to find a therapist? And most people, in my experience, turn to Google. Some will go to social media. But what do you Google? What kind of therapist are you looking for? And so you can Google any kind of keywords like therapy for depression, when will my grief end, therapy for anxiety, or anxiety therapist near me. And there's all kinds of different keywords you can put in there, and you're going to get back thousands of results. There's also directories you can go to, like Psychology Today, Inclusive Therapist, Therapy Den. There's a lot of different sites out there that simply focus on helping you find a therapist. And if you go on those sites, you can narrow it down by gender of your therapist, by problem you'd like to address with your therapist, by zip code, by insurance, by sliding fee scale. It can be overwhelming because even that's going to spit out hundreds of options possibly. And so how do you know you find a good therapist?
Those sites that you mentioned, Beth, are very good sites. And you are right. It can be overwhelming. And I've had some people who even find me on Psychology Today or whatever it may be. And they mentioned that it was exhausting sorting through different therapists. One thing I want to add with Google, if you do choose to enter a Google search term, you can narrow it by top reviews. And so that can help you find a top therapist and read other people's experiences in regards to that therapist. Also, too, I really like Psychology Today because you can read the therapist profile and see by reading their bio to see if they're a good fit as well.
And most therapy directories will have a therapist bio. And most therapists that you will find on Google hopefully either have a website you can go to or a bio of some sort. So definitely look for those. The reviews are helpful too. That can help you begin to narrow it down. So let's say you found maybe 5 therapists you want to call, maybe 3. 5 could seem like a lot. So when you call these therapists, what do you say to them? How do you know it's a good fit? So there are a number of questions you can ask a prospective therapist to see if it's someone that you might like to work with. And these questions can range from, what kind of training do you have? How long have you been licensed? What organizations are you licensed through? You can ask questions about how long do you expect to see me? How long can my treatment last? What types of therapeutic modalities do you use? How would you work with someone like me? Kind of what would our treatment plan look like? I mean, there's tons of questions you can ask, but what you're looking for is someone that is going to be able to help you make progress and someone that you feel comfortable talking with. I think rapport is one of the biggest keys or biggest factors to creating change in someone's life. So if you feel comfortable talking to this person and you have a good relationship with them, that's going to help you create the most change. Yes, interventions are important. Yes, therapeutic modalities are important. But if you're not comfortable talking to this person, it's not going to benefit you.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. And that's why I really iterate to people when I first talk to them during the free 15-minute consultation is making sure that I'm a good fit. And it's okay if I'm not, and I will try and help, you navigate the path so that you can find a therapist to whom can help navigate you best during that road that you're headed. Because therapy, it really is an important professional relationship that you're embarking on. You're opening up to a person in essence and divulging some deep personal experiences. And as you mentioned, a key word is help, finding somebody that can help you. And when I think of the word help, I think of collaboration. So it's working together, you and your therapist. And so you can't have one without the other. The therapist can't work the whole therapy session themselves and doing all of the work. You have to put in effort too, and vice versa. So making sure that you feel comfortable with the person that you're talking to.
I always tell my clients 2 things. I say, give me 3 sessions. If you decide to work with me, give me 3 sessions to see if I'm helpful to you or not. And if at any point in those 1 to 3 sessions you feel like I'm not, say something, because I don't want to waste someone's time and money. But I also think it could take a couple sessions to get a good flow going and to see if the suggestions I give and the conversations we have can be helpful to a client. Having said that, I think it's also really important to be collaborative. I'm glad that Robin brought that up because I only can help someone with the information that I am given. So if I don't know, I can't help. Again, this goes back to the comfort level or comfortableness that hopefully a client has with me is if they're comfortable sharing very personal, private things, then I can hopefully be more help to them. But I only can work with what I'm told.
Yes. Going on that line, what I hear you saying, Beth, too, is trust.
Yes.
And so, yes, you have to be able to trust your therapist and showing your authentic self. And like Beth said, in order for the process to be helpful and beneficial, being open and honest, because if your therapist doesn't know what's really going on, then they can't help you or problem solve, help you or guide you in order to a path of growth or progression for that particular problem.
That's why I like the 15-minute free phone consultation. Both Robin and I offer those. And I think 15 minutes seems like a short time, but you can cover quite a bit of ground in 15 minutes to see if someone's a good fit for you or not. And most therapists, not all, most therapists offer that because it's important to us that you are comfortable with us and that you can begin to build trust with us. And I encourage clients, shop around, talk to me and talk to some other therapists. And if you come back to me, great. If you don't, great. It's important to me that you find a good fit.
Yes. And so it may take a few sessions, like Beth mentioned earlier. There's a few clients that come to mind that were initially, they didn't come to me on their own accord or own will. They were more so gently guided towards me. Over time, though, they realized how helpful therapy could be. And then they ended up coming on their own when they weren't mandated or they weren't
strongly encouraged.
Yes, thank you. That's the right word. I couldn't think of the right word. That's perfect. Yes, strongly encouraged to come to me. Yeah, so it just making sure that it works for you.
I think that about sums it up very briefly in a nutshell of kind of how to find a therapist, what to look for in a therapist. Is there anything else you want to add, Robin?
No, I think that's about it. I think we some of the major parts of how to find a therapist and working collaboratively with your therapist along the process as you go along. So having that open communication, and if some things aren't working, then being upfront with your therapist and letting them know what you would like to see more of or less of in sessions, because it's your time to try and invest help you.
Exactly. And until next time, this wraps up another Wellness Wednesday episode, and thank you all for joining us. And again, we welcome your comments and questions and feedback, so please feel free to call in or write in and let us know what you'd like to hear us talk about.
Right, exactly. Until then.
You can send Beth and Robin a message at 612-367-6093 or by email at info@blindabilities.com. They'd love to hear from you.
When we share
what we see through
each other's eyes, we can then begin to bridge the gap
between the limited expectations and the realities of blind abilities.
And the realities of blind abilities.